Can you hear me now?
I can.
Nice.
All right. Let's see
There
what
we
we
go.
got going on here.
There we go. We are live.
Okay, perfect. So I think everything's working. We had a little bit of a snafu, as you would
Snafu.
call it. So yes, so we're gonna start. We're just gonna give it a minute because we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So we're gonna wait for a few people to join, and we will go from there. So how was your week been, Kat?
Let's see my week. How's my week been? Well, yeah, it was a pretty good week, I have to say. Went by quickly, like
Yeah,
last year did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Trust me, I hear you.
it was.
Daring the Dark, thanks for joining. Just stay with us here for a couple of minutes before we get started. Um,
How was your
yeah,
week?
it's been very quick, very busy. Weekend just flew by,
Mm-hmm.
and tomorrow we have the full moon. Daring the Dark is Lenore. Hello, Lenore. She changed
You're
her
back.
username.
Lenore's back. You can only stay away from Instagram for so long, huh? Welcome back. We missed you.
All
The
right,
new and
so
improved Lenore.
so I'm gonna do my spiel while we wait for a few others to join.
Okay, sorry.
So obviously, Kat and I are doing we're doing the tarot readings for arts and entertainment purposes only, and we don't do readings for medical, financial, or legal, as there are experts in those fields.
Yes.
Okay, let's just see here. All right, so we've got. I'm just joining from my iPad. That way I can see certain things, certain comments.
Yep.
Okay, so I think maybe we'll start with the weekly reading. Now,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't pulled my cards. I know you have.
Yes, I
So
have.
I'm going to pull mine right now, and then we can talk about it. Now, I've got to find a way to hide this cord. It's going to drive me bonkers.
What cord? I don't see the cord. I think
This.
you're.
Oh,
I think you're fine.
okay, good.
Yeah.
There. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
So do you want to compare our cards card for card? You pull yours, and then we'll talk about. Or do you want to pull? No, you do your read first, then, and I'll do mine.
Okay.
See how they match up with what you pull. Let's do it that way. So once again, this is a collective read for anybody who's watching this video either live or if you felt compelled to watch the recording. This reading is for you. So take from it what you will. And this is for the week ahead. We each of us pull 3 cards for those who are new to the live. We pull 3 cards, and the cards are advice for the collective for the week ahead. So, Steve, are we looking at the cards are they facing you or are they facing us?
So they're facing me, so they're going to be upside down for you.
Okay.
Okay. Um, okay. So let's see what I've got here. Right now, I've got the Five of Cups. Okay. The Five of Cups is really all about feeling down, some kind of loss, maybe feeling unfulfilled, abandonment. Okay, and the next card I've got is the Eight of Cups in reverse, which is quite interesting. It is something about walking away typically from a relationship, some kind of an emotional tie. But because it's in reverse, it's telling me, hey, you know what? There's a block or a reason why you're not being able to walk away from this emotional tie. And then the last but not least is we've got the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is generally someone who's very straight up. They're very eloquent. They're a natural born speaker. They're good in front of a stage. They know how to present themselves. And they're also all about truth and justice. Okay. But it is in reverse. So to me, the traits that come out from that to me are someone who maybe doesn't speak the truth very clearly, or
A little
they
manipulative.
yeah, they're manipulative. They fumble a lot when they speak, like almost like a nervous tone.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be hiding something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's interesting to me because it seems like the king, I'm gonna say this week, is I think someone around you, someone around your general orbit. Because what I'm seeing at the beginning here is there's a couple of cards relating to emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions, kind of you feel like a loss, but unfortunately you can't seem to get away from it. Okay. And that has to do with the fact that there's this king, or this lack of transparency that's happening. So I would keep my eye out this week on, needing to leave something behind, but you're not able to because you don't have the answers yet. And that's what I'm feeling. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot. So again, it's all minor arcana. It looks like there's a lot of people kind of caught up in the emotions of what's been happening lately. There's people that are your only upright card is that 5 of Cups, right?
Yep.
So not seeing what you've got because you're too distracted by what you lost. And yeah, the 8 of Cups in reverse, meaning, walking away from something, but like Steve says, there's something that's either you're walking away when you shouldn't walk away, or you're not able to walk away. There's something about cutting those ties. You're tied to something and you're reluctant to let go of it. And yeah, that king could be somebody in your orbit who's not helping you.
Yeah.
They're contributing a little bit to your to your state. They're not helping you get out of it. Rather, they're maybe keeping you in it. They're um, keeping you distracted, or maybe making you feel a little bit like untethered. They're not supporting you. They're doing the opposite.
Yep.
That's what I get from that.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so some of you are struggling a little bit with that, or will be this week, and I guess it's just acknowledging the fact that these are all temporary situations, and you have more power than you realize to overcome the struggles. The cards I pulled, by contrast, are all major arcana, starting with the sun.
I'm gonna put you in the spotlight, Kat.
So the sun is all goals being achieved, happy endings, good times ahead. And sometimes, even though, so I've got the sun, but then I've got a couple of reversed cards. I've got Justice and the Lovers reversed, right? So Justice reversed, meaning there's justice, but it doesn't feel like justice. Something has gone the way it should have gone, but it doesn't feel to you like justice. It's painful. It's a bitter pill to swallow, whatever it is, but it's right, and it's the way that it's meant to be. And same thing with the Lovers. The Lovers also speaks to that reverse king. Somebody's meddling. There's somebody meddling with something that's in your life, some part of your soul journey, and there's some partnership or some kind of duality, but there's a third party who's in there kind of messing around with things. But it's all good. Like, I think what my cards are saying, contrast to yours, Steve, are that there's a lot of important stuff happening right now. It might not all feel good, and there's a risk of some people kind of getting into your bliss and trying to turn things upside down. But really, what's happening in your life isn't necessarily um the way things are. There is no reality, just perception,
Yep.
right? And we choose our reality by what we choose to believe and what we choose to think. And so my cards seem to be reminding us that there's happy endings coming, but it might kind of feel like there's some It might not feel the way, like when you manifest something. They say don't worry about the how. Just focus on the end result. The how will work itself out, and it's really none of your business how it happens. All right? Just focus on the end, and however you get there, you get there. But a reminder that sometimes it's necessary to go through these uncomfortable soul journey milestones to get to that happy ending. What do you think, Steve? What are your thoughts?
It's funny. I read them so differently. But before I go there, I just want to say hi to Adrian on YouTube. Hello to Corey, Arshibar, Adam. And yes, we are on YouTube as well. Okay, so bear with us while we get through the weekly reading. Kat, it's interesting. So the way I look at yours, it's almost as if people are living in bliss or some kind of ignorance. And they're ignoring decisions that need to be made, or there's decisions that need to be made that are blocked from happening. So the sun, as we know, it's bliss, right? It's great. It's fantastic. It's positive. But then you've got the lovers and the judgment, correct?
Justice.
Okay. The justice card and the lovers in reverse.
Yeah.
Both of those cards are about making decisions, right? You think about justice like a judge making a decision. When it's in reverse, it can't happen. The lovers, and when it's upright, is not only about lovers per se, but it's also about making a decision. And when that's reversed, to me, both of them, a decision can't be made. So, you're living in sun and everything's peachy right behind the white picket fence, but it's because it almost seems like you're ignoring certain things that need to be made, certain decisions that need to be made. So I would, maybe reassess what's happening this week and don't ignore the things that need action or need decision making, because living in bliss sometimes is great, but it will catch up. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I have a completely different take than you did. I think if I pulled the temperance card, that would have kind of leaned me a bit more to what you're saying. But because temperance is about justice within, whereas this is justice, this is other people sort of getting involved in situations that affect you, decisions being made by other people. Whereas temperance is about your own, and judgment as well is about your own. And yeah, I like the lovers, because upright, it's about a partnership. It's about duality, yin and yang, black and white, how opposites kind of work off each other. But my interpretation of it upside down is that there's something meddling with that duality.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
no, I would agree with you on the justice card in one way, but I know when reading reversals, when a card is upside down, it means quite a few things. So it's blocked from happening, or it's also something within yourself.
weakened, inverted,
Yes.
negative,
Yes.
and delayed.
Yes.
Wind is the acronym.
Yeah.
That's how I learned it years ago.
Yeah. So there's different ways of interpreting tarot, right?
Yep.
All right. Hello,
Absolutely.
Josie. Thanks for joining. Okay, so we're going to split this up tonight, because there's a topic that seems to be on the news and everybody seems to be talking about quite a bit. Hello, Noom. Thanks for joining. I owe you an email. So yeah, there is a topic that everyone seems to be talking about, and Kat and I both want to cover it in the live tonight as well. So I think what we'll do, we want to split it up a little bit. So I want to, if there's anyone that wants a live reading right now, put a comment in the box. We'll take maybe a couple. Then we're going to do this spread. And the spread's going to be about what to expect if Canada becomes the 51st state. So,
oh Lordy.
So that'll be interesting. And then after that,
you want to switch the camera so I'm not the main feature anymore.
And then we'll go back to the live. Yeah. Oops, we'll go back to the the live readings after that. So, okay, so I'm going to put this camera back up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. And I see Lenore. Lenore is looking for a reading. Yes, Josie, how did that go? Let us know how that went. All right, Lenore, do you have any specific area you want us to focus on, or are you looking for a general read? Let us know.
Lenore, I think, is my Queen of Cups.
She's the Scorpio above 30. And what is happening? Okay.
She wants to know what is happening.
Yeah. And Adrian on YouTube has a question. All right, so we'll do Lenore and we'll do Adrian. And Josie's saying the U.S. is ready. They're getting ready for inauguration. Interesting. All right, so we'll do those two. Then we'll do our spread, Kat, and then we'll go back to live readings.
Okay.
All right, Lenore.
What is happening with Lenore?
Okay.
Still looking.
All right, I'll wait for you. Adrian, I see you have a question. So yes, you can ask the question while we read for Lenore, and then you're up next.
Queen of Cups, where are you at?
Okay, so while you read that, Lenore, what's happening this week for you? I've got the High Priestess in reverse. Okay, so the High Priestess, she's typically, there's secrets that she can see through. There's mystery, intuition, and being able to trust yourself. But when it's in reverse, it's telling me that things are a little bit awry, maybe. Maybe you don't trust yourself in a certain situation that's happening right now. Or maybe, you can't see through the secrets around you. So let's keep that in mind. Let's see what Kat's going to pull to, highlight this card. What do you got, Kat?
Four of Cups, upright.
Okay.
Right. So we're in a time of introspection, looking at our life again, maybe thinking a little bit about, are we where we want to be? Are we where we feel we should be right now? Maybe feeling a teeny bit dissatisfied. And against that reversed High Priestess, are we maybe thinking of maybe our intuition isn't quite where it should be? Are we feeling a little stuck?
Yeah, I feel like maybe Lenore's pulling away from a situation because she might not feel like she's got a grasp on it. She might not be trusting herself this week. Let us know if that resonates, Lenore, with something that is happening in your life. And if it's not, wait for this week to pass and then update us next week. Let us know if that made any sense to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she's saying 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll put this back in the deck. And our next one will be Adrian. Adrian Muse from YouTube. So I think I feel like you've read for Adrian as well, Kat. Do you have that name down?
Yes, I do. Queen of Wands.
Perfect.
General read?
No, there's a question. What does my friend think of me? And I'm not going to mention the name.
Mm-hmm.
And this is someone that they used to date. They were dating years ago. So I guess it's a perception card for her friend of what her friend thinks of her.
Okay.
You're welcome, Lenore. Red Capes, welcome back. Margaret, welcome back. Simply Spirit Reader, thanks for joining. Josie, I see your question. We'll get to you. All right. Adrian. What do we got for Adrian? Oh. Okay. I've got the Ace of Wands.
I've got the Chariot reversed.
So, okay. Okay, I'll let you go first, Kat. What are your thoughts?
Well, the Chariot upright is a nice card. It sort of means that you're on a path, you're in control, you've set a course for your soul journey, and you're headed in the right direction, and everything's hunky-dory, and you're in a sort of a power position in your soul journey where you can make things happen. But when it's reversed, it could mean that you're not quite going in the right direction. The cards are saying things need to change, directions need to change. Maybe things are not in alignment. So your question about what this person thinks of you, maybe this person is just not on the same frequency as you. They're not in the same. This being a major arcana tells me that there's a significant difference, and maybe the question shouldn't be, what does this person think of me? The question should be, should you even be giving this person space in your head? What do you think, Steve?
It is interesting. I somewhat agree with you because the major arcana is it's a more powerful card than the Ace of Wands. But there is one theme that both of them have in common. The Ace of Wands is all about action-oriented, new beginnings. And same with the Chariot. The Chariot is all about action as well.
Yeah.
Now, the Chariot is in reverse. So that's indicating no action. So if I want to combine the two, I almost feel like saying, Adrian, I feel like this person, they're kind of almost like at a neutral stance. They're not thinking anything other than just friendship or just existing with you. That's the feeling that I'm getting, because you've got two action cards, but one is reversed. So it's almost like they kind of like not wash each other out in a sense.
Yeah,
right?
You're thinking of them, but they're not thinking of you.
Right. So that's what I'm getting. I hope that helps, Adrian. Not the best of news if you were looking for something different, but I would say it's more of a neutral stance. Okay. 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 So before we get to Josie, Daniel, thanks for joining. Let's do our read. So what to expect if Canada becomes the 51st state? And of course, we're talking about the United States. So I'm changing my decks for this read. And the way it works, it's a what to expect spread. And both Kat and myself will be pulling 5 cards. And every time we flip one, we will go through it together.
Okay. So I want to just, maybe the way we phrase this question isn't so much about, I guess the question should be around the idea of becoming the 51st state. Is it feasible? Is it just theater? Is it just empty words being said by a man who likes to shake things up? Like what do we need to know about this topic, I guess, is probably what I think, just to broaden it a bit more, right? Because we may not become the 51st state. This may just be like, I'd like to know, is it serious, right? Or is it just somebody being theatrical?
Okay, so that will change the spread completely.
Okay, well then let's pretend we are going to become the 51st state and do that spread. I'm curious as
well,
as
no.
to,
What we ask is what to expect if we become the 51st state.
Sure. Okay.
Not that we are going to be. What to expect.
Hypothetical. Sure.
Yeah.
No problem. Let's
And
do the
then-
hypothetical.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
Okay, got to make sure that the cards fit in the screen here. 3, 4, 5.
Pulling 5. Okay.
Now,
All right.
the way the cards work, and of course I'll go through this with everybody again as we pull.
Interesting.
What to expect is the first question. The first card. The second card is it's insights on what to expect. The third card is hidden influences, advice, and then outcome. All right. So both Kat and I will flip the first card. I know you can't see hers, but the first card I've got is the 3 of Cups. What did you pull, Kat?
2 of Cups in reverse.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, what I'm getting so far, mine is kind of, when you see 3 of Cups, it's more or less about teamwork.
Celebration.
People working together, but more than 2, right? There's a team that needs to be involved here, which makes perfect sense, because you would have 2 sets of government with multitude of people trying to work this stuff out. Actually, more than 2 sets of government. You have the federal, the provincial, the municipal, all this stuff will be affected. Okay. And with Kat's 2 in reverse, indicating to me, you know what? It could be a little bit of a bumpy ride. Okay. There might be some struggles in the relationship. There might be some tensions that rise, and that's to be expected, right? Whenever something merges, like even in business, for example, when one business buys another one out, there's always going to be tension in the relationship.
Yeah, I don't see this is like a merger. This is like a difficult merger card.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
To me, that's no surprise whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So far the cards are making absolute sense.
Mm-hmm.
The next card is going to be an insight on the initial card that you pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got the Moon.
And I've got the 5 of Swords. So there you go.
Very much in line.
Yeah.
So, the Moon is really all about illusions.
Mm-hmm.
So this working together is an illusion. It's not going to happen. It's going to be, someone's going to be working for themselves, and that's what I'm getting. Yeah. And Kat, with your cards, with your 2, what do you get?
So I think it's, similar. It's interesting. Our cards are very similar. Deception. So the deception could also be around what the public is told that is happening, right? Because a change like this would be so massive, such a sea change that there's no precedent for it in modern memory, recent memory. So they'd have to really manage the propaganda and the messaging around it. And I think some of that deception, quite frankly, would need to happen because people in large groups that are unhappy can cause calamities, shall we say. So
100%.
I get why they might feel like they need to massage the messaging around that. And what's happening in the background, dualities and partnerships kind of not going right, or tensions, is to be expected. But on the surface, they'll want everybody to think everything's going according to plan and everything's going fine.
Yep. The third card we're going to pull is Hidden Influences. Okay, I've got the Queen of Wands.
Okay, and I have the 9 of Pentacles.
Interesting. So the Queen of Wands, let's try to describe her, shall we? She can be very friendly. She's definitely confident. Okay. She's full of fire, full of passion. You can tell from all the red here. And she can also be known as a manifester. Okay. And she's all about that energy. She's very driven. So if there's someone, I'm going to say, that's behind all of this, that's very driven to make this happen.
Yeah, queens are nurturers of, so she's, because she's a queen of wands, she's about moving a project forward, moving work forward, getting things done. And the nine of pentacles is about having accomplished quite a bit, like there being prosperity, there being resources available, and that coming from these initial wranglings and whatnot that they would need to do. So it looks like initially there might be some positive, again, a lot of work going into it, but some positive outcomes financially for the people.
Yep. Advice. So let's work on the fourth. Oh, sorry. You did your card, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God. I just had a blank out because I was reading a comment. Okay. The advice card. Okay. I've got the Six of Swords. What did you pull?
I have the Two of Wands in reverse.
Hmm. Okay. So I'm looking. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you my card here. Okay.
Six of Swords. Interesting.
Yeah. So to me, it looks like there's a maze,
Yeah.
obviously.
Moving
And,
out of troubled waters, right?
yeah, and there's you're going from one direction to another, hopefully trying to find peace and joy and happiness, right? So,
Mhm.
like Kat said, you're moving away from troubled waters.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like, though, however, in order to get there, it's going to be challenging.
Mhm.
There's going to be a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things to be able to move out of this troubled water. So, I
And
guess
the
for
two speaks to just impatience to get there, like being too much in a hurry to try
Mhm.
to get there before you're really ready,
Yeah,
right? So while there's some success, it looks like from our Queen of Wands and our Knight of Pentacles, there's maybe some impatience, maybe some difficulty in actually moving some of the agendas forward because they're just too complicated.
yeah,
And yeah.
you're right. And I think, in order for this to be successful, there's going to be a lot of moving parts to it, a
Hmm.
lot of confusion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But, it's kind of saying, bear with it because it might be a good thing because you're moving away from troubled waters. Who
Yeah.
knows, right? I think we need to pull more cards to get more clarity on this. So this is going to be a very general read.
Yes.
And the last card is going to be the outcome.
What's that? What is it?
I've got the Fool.
I've got the High Priestess.
Oh, get out. So, the Fool is about jumping into something. What's the word I'm looking
Mhm.
for? You're taking like a leap of faith. So you don't really know what's going to happen. You're just going to take a chance. Okay.
Well,
Um,
this is a new thing altogether. Like to me, the Fool makes complete sense because
mhm.
merging the two countries would be a complete wipe the slate clean. And what do we do now? We've never done this before, kind of thing. And we're going to figure it out as we go. And the priestess talks a little bit about that hidden influence, about that sort of secretive, we're maybe we need to really carefully manage humanity through this because maybe there's some truths that we're not ready to hear, like maybe our history has been wrong in some places that we've been taught all along was correct, and in the merging of two countries you're going to unearth some dirty laundry,
Oh,
right? And
100%.
information is going to come to the fore, and maybe it's information we're not ready for.
Yeah.
History is written by the victors, right? So they say. So maybe some things that we were told happened didn't happen. I mean, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So,
But she speaks to that. She speaks to mystery,
yeah.
right?
So it's basically, it's telling us, can it happen? Will it happen? We don't know that. This
Hmm.
spread is just basically saying what happens if we're going to.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's going to be a leap of faith. It's going to be a jump, and there's going to be secrets, like Kat mentioned. There's going to be secrets, I think, that are going to be revealed to the public. And I still feel like even though there might be secrets revealed, not everything's going to be revealed.
I think
So
she speaks to the fact that if you do your own due diligence and you're open-minded enough and you don't have cognitive dissonance, you may be able to receive some of the truths that the rest of the people aren't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Interesting
just
words.
yeah. So I just want to read a comment that was mentioned. It's in our Constitution and Confederacy. What can never be done. Look at the Quebecois Party. Mr. T needs to learn history. So,
There's that word again, history.
yeah.
Yep.
And, I want to say that history can be rewritten. It has been rewritten.
Yep.
Things can change. Nothing is 100% solid and secure. And Josie, I'm going to say 100% there are ways around it. Yeah. So, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm watching this very closely.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about that. Okay.
Indeed.
So let's go back to the readings. I know Josie, you had a question, and Redscapes, you have a question. So Josie, let's look. I know she had one somewhere. Oh yes, relationship for me this year. So let's have a quick gander of what's going to happen with Josie this year as far as love is concerned. Okay. What did you get, Kat?
I got the 3 of Pentacles reversed.
Oh. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, a little tricky to play this one off against the question. Usually it speaks to your ability to, when it's upright, it talks about your making yourself known for being a sort of an expert in something, being really accomplished in something. But when it's reversed, it talks about, mediocrity, things not maybe at the surface level stuff only, but nothing going too deep. Not sure how to read this into the question. Maybe with your card together, we can formulate something.
Absolutely. I have it already. I've got the 9 of Pentacles. So, Josie, what I'm seeing this year, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, upright, it means like teamwork, partnership. Okay, always, it's business related, but because this is relationship, we're gonna aim it to relationship. But it being in reverse is telling me, nope, this is more of a single thing this year, Josie. It's more a you thing. And the 9 of Pentacles is also a card of a single person.
Yeah.
So I feel like this year, Josie, it's going to be your year to come out shining. Okay. So this card is a lot about happiness as well. So I think this year you're going to be working on yourself and maybe preparing yourself for someone to come into your life next year. That's what I'm feeling from these cards. It's going to be you and yourself this year. So maybe not the answer you're looking for, but it's definitely something that the cards are trying to tell you.
Yeah, the Pentacles reversed that I pulled talks about work and about maybe how more work needs to be done. So maybe that's the reason that it's your year, Josie. Maybe there's some work that you need to do for yourself. Like, maybe you've been neglecting yourself a little bit and it's time to focus on yourself. And this is the year to do that.
Yep. Okay. Next, we have Red Capes 59.
Red Capes. Do I have Red Capes? I don't think I do. Red Capes 59. No, I don't.
Oh.
Unless the name was given before, I don't have anything listing Red Capes.
Okay, Red Capes, if you're still on, can you just let us know what your astrological sign is, and if you're under or over the age of 30?
Yeah, don't
I can see looks like from the picture you're female.
And 59, can we assume that's your birth year?
I'm gonna say
I'm
over
going to say
30.
queen of something.
Um,
I'm
and
assuming it's a queen.
yeah, and if we don't, hello, Mom. Josie joined, and Josie that we just read for is giving us the thank you sign. And Haley, thanks for joining. We're just doing live reads, so if you have a question for us or you would like a quick general reading, let us know.
Okay, Red Capes is a queen of pentacles.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay.
You replied. Yeah.
Okay. So Red
Queen
Capes.
of Pentacles. General was about what was it?
Will my trip east be satisfying personally?
So satisfying trip east. Okay. Oops. Ooh. Card just jumped out of the deck, so I'm going to take that one.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with you.
And good news, because it's an Ace of Wands. So I would say yes. That's going to be a pivotal trip for you, Red Capes. Pivotal.
And I've got the Hierophant in reverse.
Ooh.
Okay. So the Hierophant is typically about traditions and so on, like following rules kind of within a box and things like that. And
prescribed.
Sorry, what is yours? The Ace. Yours is the Ace of
Wands.
Wands. So I'm going to say yes, Red Capes. It's going to be satisfying personally. But remember, the one thing that you have to do is think outside the box, be more open-minded, and don't close off certain ideas or certain things that might come your way just because that's the way you thought of them in the past. So keep an open mind, and it looks like it's going to be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a little bit challenging, but just keep an open mind. Okay. Is there anyone else on the live that would like a reading?
It's a little quiet.
It is quiet. Come on, people.
Did you want to switch gears to talk to? What were we gonna talk about?
Well, tomorrow's the full moon.
Tomorrow is more than just a full moon, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about that. So yeah, the moons are interesting because we get together and we do moon gatherings at My Blissful Lotus in Little India. And tomorrow's full moon, which is known as the Wolf Moon, will peak at just before 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. And it occurs in Cancer. Cancer is a very nurturing sign, and it is ruled by the moon itself. So that alignment kind of emphasizes the theme of emotional security, family, and inner reflection. So working on yourself, exploring your shadow side. In addition, there's something really interesting happening with this full moon. I didn't know about this as I was reading about it. It's called an occultation of Mars. Never heard of this before, but apparently what's going to happen is the moon is going to pass in front. Mars is here. The moon is going to pass in front of Mars. And I think that because Mars is in a place where it's going to kind of obscure the view of, normally you can see Mars, but the moon's going to pass over it, so you can't. Interesting. And it's going to be visible. I think North America, the US, right after sundown, you should see that happening with Mars. Really cool. So if you follow the moon phases, if you are one of these people that likes to harness the energy of the full moons and the new moons, I think you probably know the full moon is a good time to put your crystals out on the windowsill so they can catch the energy in the light of the moon. It charges your crystals and cleanses them. It's also a good time for you to do some emotional cleansing of yourself. Try to dive into what triggers you, and if you're feeling some heavy emotions, explore that and try to meditate and cleanse yourself of those emotions. The full moon is a good time to do that. Any journaling you do, any kind of meditating and reflecting, if you set intentions during the new moon phase, because the new moon phase is about starting new projects, new initiatives. What do you want to do? What do you want to kick off? Whereas the full moon is about those things now manifesting and coming into reality. So we're going to do a manifestation tomorrow for everybody that set their intentions for the new moon. Now's the time to bring those into reality with the full moon for manifestation. And another nice thing to do is to go for a walk. If you're in an area where it's not too cold, the weather's nice, go for a walk under the moon and just enjoy being in that energy.
Yeah. And lastly, we do have another event coming up in February.
Mm-hmm.
And Kat and I are hosting an event. I will be playing sound bowls. Kat will be doing a little bit of a guided meditation and Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
It is an hour-long event being held at Ham's Art on Queen Street. So look that up. I'll be posting up an ad tomorrow. And then there'll be a link in my bio if you want to join. And it's actually fairly reasonably priced, $44 a person. And we'll go from there. So I hope we will see you at this event. It's going to be fun and one of a kind.
Yeah, very unique event. You won't find this really. I mean, you have to look. You will see it from time to time, but you won't see it for this price. And getting Reiki and sound therapy together is, yeah, you actually have to. You would have to look pretty hard to find people that do that. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good one. I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't think there's any other questions that have come through. You're welcome, Red Capes. So I think what we'll do is we'll say sayonara. I will go first. I want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for allowing us to read. Thank you for allowing us to present these new spreads and topics that may come up. And if you do have topics you wish you want us to go through, let us know. Send us a message in the chat or DM us. That would be great. We would love to cover topics that you want an answer to. And then, so thank you. And I'll see you next week. And I'll turn it over to Kat to close it off.
Yeah, we want to do more of these sort of deep dives into things that are happening. There's so much happening this year. It's almost like when Steve and I were talking about what we were going to read tonight, it was like, pick one. Here's a laundry list of everything that's going on right now. Like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Seriously, there's so many things. We're making some assumptions what you want to explore. So like Steve says, if there's something that you're really interested in knowing more about, let us know and we'll do a deep dive on it, because we're really curious, and the cards always have interesting insights to share. So we hope that you'll let us know. And so until next week, thanks again for joining, and have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.